Right, we're moving on to question 7, 8, and 9. I would like you to pause the video again and using your pencil or pen, try question 7, 8, and 9. So pause the video and do question 7, question 8, and question 9. Okay, hope you've tried them. So we're just going to go quick to question 7, which says that Mr. Philip filled a swimming pool with water from a hose. Now 20 liters of water went into the pool every minute the hose was turned on. Now Miss Phillips turned the hose on at 8:20 a.m. and turned it off at 10 a.m. How many liters of water did he put into the pool? Okay, so they're saying that every single minute, every 1 minute, there are 20 liters that are getting in. Okay, so 1 minute, 20 liters gets in. Now the hose has been turned on from 8:20 to 10 a.m. So what I need to do is to work out how long that is then, how many minutes. Now from 8:20 to 9 o'clock, that's basically 40 minutes. Yeah, that's 40 minutes. From 8:20 to 9 o'clock is 40 minutes. And then from 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock is basically 60 minutes. So altogether, the hose has been turned on for 100 minutes. So 100 minutes. Okay. So 1 minute is 20 liters. 100 minutes will be 100 times more, because the time here is 100 times longer. So you times this one by 100. Okay, so you didn't just turn the hose on for 1 minute, but you did the hose 100 times longer, 100 times longer. So you need to times the water as well. So the amount of water would also be 100 times more. So you do 20 times by 100, which is going to be equal to 2,000 liters. Okay, so in 100 minutes, 2,000 liters of water has gone through. Okay, question B. Question 8. 1 meter by 5 meter rolls of turf cost 80 pounds. Miss Taylor's yard is 5 meters long and 8 meters wide. How much will it cost to turf half of his yard? Okay. Right. So what we need to do now here, number one, we need to understand what the question is telling us and what we need to do. Now, when you are painting or when you are applying things like turf like this, obviously you apply them to an area. So you need to work out the area first. So they say that 1 meter by 4 meter rolls of turf. In other words, turf, which is basically like grass, will always come in rolls that are 1 meter by 4. In other words, they will be like this. Okay. So this will be 4 meter. This will be 1 meter. It's gonna do that a bit better. So doing that a bit better somewhere here. Okay. So 1 meter, this is the length. So the first number is the length, and the other letter is always the width. So I've got 1 meter by 4 meters. Now what I want to do now is to first of all work out the amount of area that is here. Area is always equal to length times width for a rectangle. So the earth is gonna be 4 meters square. That's the area that the turf can cover. However, the amount of area we're covering here is basically 5 meters long by 8 meters wide. So the area of the yard which needs to be covered seems to be 5 meters long by 8 meters long. So it's going to be 5 meters. Actually, this is also the other way around, whereby the length is short and the width is wider. Okay, so the length is short and the width seems to be wider. Okay. Let's do that. Okay. Okay, so that's roughly that. So the length is 5 meters and the width is basically 8 meters. So the amount that needs to be covered here seems to be 40 square meters because you times. However, we bring us how much will it cost him to turf half of his yard. So we don't want to turf everything. Why not just do half? But what we could do, let's pretend we want to get half. We want to turf the whole thing. Okay. Now this is what you're going to need to say. You need to say that if you want to turf an area of 4 meters square, you will need 80 pounds because the turf comes in size of 4 square meters, and that is 80 pounds. Okay, so this can only cover an area of 4 square meters, but we want 10 times more. Okay, we want to cover 10 times more the the area, which is going to be 10 times 80, which is going to be 800 pounds. Okay, but actually we don't want to cover the whole thing. We just want to cover half of it, which means we want to cover 20. Now, so we're having 4 to give us 20. We will need to have 800, which will give us 400 there. Okay, so we will need 400 pounds to do that. Right, so the last question, question 9. The picture on the right shows the angle on a straight line split into 3 parts. What fraction of the total does angle X represent? First, you need to work out what angle X is. Remember, angles on a straight line like this will always add up to 180. So you're going to say that if you are to do 75 and you add 60 and you add X to that, the answer should be 300 and the answer should be 180. So what we need to do now is just basically see what we need to add on as X to give us 180. Now 75 plus 60 is 135. If we add X, the answer is 180. So obviously X is going to be 180, take away 135, which is going to be 45. So X is 45 degrees. But they don't want it as a degree, they want it as a fraction of the whole thing. Okay. The whole thing is basically 180. Remember, straight line is always 180. They add up to the angles on a straight line add up to 180. So as a fraction, we're going to have everything out of 180. But the top one is going to be just the X, which is 45. Okay. Now all you need to do now is to simplify all the way. Now when you're doing your test, it might be a good idea to always be a bit quick, right? And divide numbers like this with something big. For example, 45, I know that 9 goes into 45 and goes into 180. 9 goes into 45 5 times, and 9 goes into 18 twice, which means that into 180 is going to be 0. Just add that 0 there at the back. Now, 5 goes into 5 once and also goes into 20 4 times. So the right answer is going to be B. Okay? So if you just want to pause your video now and mark your work, so pause the video and mark the work. Okay, hope you done well on that.